Okay guys, as usual, let's first start off with the deck. The deck is made up of Canadian maple and fiberglass. It's 37.8 inches in length and just under 10 inches in width. The max load is 330 pounds, so if you're a bigger rider, this could be a good affordable option. The concave is mild, nothing too aggressive, pretty much your standard boosted style board concave. I do like the design of the deck. Nothing crazy, no bold colors, no crazy shapes, just a nice subtle design with their logo on it. And they also have the directional arrows for the beginner riders. What's also nice about the deck, they have front and rear bash guards. So in case you're leaning your board up against the concrete, it won't scratch up the tail end. You could also use the rear as a kicktail. And if the front of the board rolls into a wall, it'll protect it as well with that bash guard. But my favorite is the rear bash guard because you can always play around with the deck and not scratch it up. The deck is not completely stiff, it has a mild flex, so that flex will help dampen bad roads. Now let's talk about the wheels. These wheels are 105mm jelly wheels, they call it. They're 65mm in width and 78A diameter. These will give you more top speed and more shock absorption than a 90mm wheel, especially for a beginner rider. Check it out. Now let's talk about the trucks. The trucks are your standard reverse kingpin trucks, and in my personal opinion, these are by far the most stable trucks I've ever ridden on any budget board. I rode with the stock bushings, but if you want to carve easier, go with softer bushings. As for the motors, these are hub drive motors, which are 550 watts each. In this price point, I think that's actually pretty good. Now what's also good about having bigger hub drive motors is the clearance. If this was a belt drive, it would scratch up the trucks and the motor mounts. Hub drives are also lighter weight, more sleek, and very easy to roll because there's zero resistance. When you have that zero resistance, you can treat the board like a traditional push longboard. And since you can kick push the board because there's no resistance, that will help with your range. The ESC VEYMAX is using is the updated Lingy FOC 8.0 ESC. Most boards in this price bracket are utilizing the 1.0 Lingy ESC, which is very outdated. Okay guys, acceleration test on the VEYMAX X4. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, smooth. Good power delivery. Definitely not aggressive, definitely not overwhelming. I give it a 7 out of 10 for its price point. Okay, braking test at 10 miles per hour. 1, 2, 3, brake. Good, good. Very smooth, no complaints there. Okay, top speed test up a slight hill. See how it does? All right, let's check the rider app. I got 28.6 miles per hour up a slight hill, so 29 miles per hour on the website I think is pretty accurate. A lot of boards in this price range, they over-exaggerate their top speeds. Now for the battery. This is a 12S 2P 216 watt hours 5 amp hour battery, which I think this is just right for this price bracket. Most of the boards that are cheaper than this run a 10S setup and sometimes even smaller motors. As for range, I'm a 155-pound rider. The temperature was about 58 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was riding in the highest mode the majority of the time. Now, most beginner riders won't be riding in pro mode the entire time, certainly not carving as much as me. I got 12 miles of range with the VEYMAX ROADSTER X4, which I think is plenty of distance to travel from one place to another, especially for a beginner rider. Now for the remote. This remote has all the data you need. It's got the board charging meter, the remote charging meter, the trip odometer, the total miles on the board, the riding mode, and of course the speed. And most boards in this price bracket don't have this size data screen, and some don't have any data screen at all. Something worth mentioning, the board comes with these taillights. I did not put these on the board. I don't plan on riding this board at night, but I've had the older version of these and they're actually pretty cool. They're very sleek. They don't have any wheel bite whatsoever. They have 6 different modes and they illuminate brighter when it senses that you're braking. Now, I'm definitely going to put these on some of my other boards that I ride at nighttime because they're definitely a good feature to have in order to be seen. These also have a USB-C charging port, which is great, and the holes in the bracket seem to be big enough that you can actually mount it on several different types of trucks. So regardless of the model board you have, you can fit these lights on your current board. They're $38.99 on the VEYMAX website. Now, the older model, you have to unscrew the light itself in order to get to the old school micro USB charging port. And if you don't tighten it up enough, it will come loose during a ride. Final thoughts. Now, if you're looking for a maintenance-free, decent range board that's very sturdy and surprisingly has good customer service, all under 410 bucks, I think this is a very good option. Now, can you get something cheaper than this? Sure. But the wattage in the motors will be a little smaller and so will the battery. Or the board will be more expensive if it will outperform this board. Also, this board is under 21 pounds, which in my personal opinion is great. You don't want your first board to be a heavy, chunky board that you can't really carry around. Now, I know 12 to 13 miles of range isn't much, and I agree. But when you're going for a beginner budget-friendly board, you're not looking for a long-range, high-performance board. You want to save as much money as possible because you're trying out the new sport, and you're certainly not going on group rides, especially really long distances. When I first started riding, I simply rode around my neighborhood, and I didn't really ride more than 5 or 6 miles. When you're a beginner rider, you just want to go on a cruise, you want to explore, you don't want to worry about maintenance, you don't want to worry about belts, and some people live in countries that electric skateboards are illegal. This is super quiet, no one will ever know it's electric. And also, VEYMAX has been very responsive and very involved on social media. I don't like it when a China-based company just sells the boards and they are not involved with the community at all. Thank you for watching, guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Have a good one, guys.